Hello and welcome to episode 134 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. I'm your host, Chris Laverick, on episode 134. Busy time of year, so just that fan roundtable this week. I have got more interviews lined up with Sussex sides, which will be coming out in the next couple of episodes. But here's your New Year's fan roundtable, and it was great to catch up with the boys. Enjoy, SBTS fans. Right, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Sussex by the Sea Isthmian PREM episode 134 roundtable. New year, new all of us, and we've got a lovely selection of gentlemen here. John from Canvey, Rob from the self-entitled. No. Rob from the mighty Horsham, and joining us from the old Hastings Radio. HUFC's finest, Tom DYSON-LAURIE. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, you all right?
Evening, gents.
Evening. Right, so it's been a good couple of weeks. Results-wise, obviously, in Hastings, it's been a slightly mixed bag. But lots of good football, lots of things to talk about. Obviously, gents, I hope you've all had a good Christmas and New Year's, and all that malarkey. But let's go to the allegedly self-entitled...
I knew that was coming.
Anyway, yeah. Horsham's finest, Rob. It's not been a bad few weeks for yourselves. Fill us in.
No, yeah, it's festive period to go. It's pretty 12 points out of 12. You can't really you can't really moan at that. I think the last time we spoke was obviously just before Christmas, then we played Canvey. But then 1-0 that was a scrappy game, to be fair. The weather, that was one of those games where it was nutrition, to say the least. Played all right. Both teams did, to be fair. It was pretty scrappy. Like I say, the conditions didn't help. And then we scored, I think, on the 75th minute. And then they had a penalty in the 95th, which Carey saved. One of two of the festive period he saved, actually. That sort of started us off, really. And that's got us on the roll. I think you're probably bored of me saying it. Well, once we get going, we're sort of, once the COP competitions were out of them, we seem to sort of knuckle down and get that rhythm going, which we haven't seemed to have this season, but we're beginning to get it. So there we can be, and then where was it? Boxing Day? Yeah, Boxing Day was Bognor. That was 2-0 up, and Horsham being Horsham, we sort of let them get a goal, and I thought they played pretty well, to be fair. Like, quite surprised they were down the bottom, but then they were missing a couple of chances, and that's probably why they are where they are. I think we probably just about edged that. So that was back-to-back wins, which was good.
Mention, please, Rob, we've discussed this off air. Mention, please, the celebratory for the beginning for Boxing Day. You were mentioning about self-entitled.
So that sort of I think we were in the clubhouse afterwards, actually. And just looking through the Twitter feeds as you do and responses. And one of the Bognor fans, I think, decided to say that we're self-entitled. And as soon as you give that to the Lardy Army, we're the most least self-entitled fan base you will find. So it's quite funny. So we'll play on that, and then
according to your own selves.
Of
course.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think we pretty are. It's we all take things with a pinch of salt, but we'll play on it. Don't be surprised if you see a self-entitled flag pop up before the end of the season.
Oh, excellent.
Something we'll do. I imagine someone's probably designing it as we speak.
Yeah.
We thought, okay, Saturday, in between Christmas and New Year, away to Potter's Bar. We thought we'd play on the self-entitlement. So we opened a bottle of fizz going up there on the train. Like self-entitled fans would do. So we got to Potter's Bar. Now, to be honest with you, I thought it'd be a tricky game, and scored early, which always helps. Their pitch, I don't know if you've played them yet, up there in Kings Langley, but we played, oh my God, it's county level at best. So then we scored pretty early on, and we scored just before half time, and then the second half they just capitulated and we just took over. And 6 of the very best. So that was nice. That was good. It was heavy conditions. Again, we've been lucky with the weather this time of year, no cancellations or postponements. Took that. And then where are we? New Year's Day, I think it was. Yeah, New Year's Day now. What was that? Where we are.
If the alcohol hasn't wore off yet.
It's just, just, you play on Wednesday and you think it's a Saturday, you play, it's just ridiculous. But, we went down to Dover. I think we took about 90 of the self-entitled fans, I think. It was, I drove down and got there, and I thought, okay, as you're driving, you think the conditions are probably going to, might be a postponement or something. And I don't know if you've seen the highlights or any of it, but it was Yeah, it was touch and go. I think just before kick-off, a deluge came and it was like, meh. But the ref never looked like it calling it, so that was good. Yeah, they took the lead. We started off well, to be fair, on that pitch. We still played some good football, to be honest. The pitch held up well, as I spoke of before we started. And then, yeah, we've just got players now that are starting to tick and find that rhythm, like Dicko. Hamo's beginning to sort of dictate midfield. He's come back from his injury from a couple of weeks. Meekham's came on for Bobby Joe Taylor, who was on loan from Dorking. He picked up a knock, and he came on quite early on and sort of changed the dynamic of the game. Our centre halves now, Strange in Jake Elliott, who we got from Lewis, was outstanding. I gave him man of the match, actually.
No, he's a good player, Jake.
Yeah, he
obviously former Hastings as well.
He struggled at the beginning of the season. He got injured in pre-season, and then he sort of took a while to get going. But now he's got going. He's a powerhouse at the back, and especially games like that, his ball's in the air 90% of the time, and he's kicking out of play, and he's not it down. But he can play.
Good player. Technical
as well. Yeah, he's a really good player. So yeah, so they took the lead, and then well, here we go. Pitch is dangerous. You should call it off, kind of thing. And then second half we sort of. I think I said last time I was on it, the second half we've been struggling this season, and it was nice to come out and we got an own goal. And then Meekham, some people think it was a shot, some people thought it was a cross, but it doesn't matter. Into the back of the net, and to leave there with all 3 points, we would have taken a point, but 12 out of 12 in that festive period and getting that rhythm going now. And it's a big month for Horsham. In January we've got Carshalton coming up on Saturday. Then we've got Worthing in the Sussex Senior on the Tuesday. Then we've got Billericay at home. So we can win both of those home games. I think it sort of, pushes us way up there now. We're beginning to, let's say, certain players being sick. This was Dan Ajikai has not been fit either, so it'd be good to get him back in the fold. But yeah,
great to have someone like that coming out off the bench.
Well, this was the thing last season. This season we were saying, even when players are coming off the bench, we're in that fortunate position now where they are strengthening it. Where last year we were bringing on players that weren't as good, or you could argue that wouldn't be in the starting 11. But now we're getting those. Every one of those players on the bench could argue that could be in the starting 11. So it's healthy and it's a good position to be in. But like I've said many times, come the end of January, we could be 13th. It's going to be touch and go, I think. Hopefully we can kick on. And I think there's a couple of knocks that people have picked up because we played Potter's Bar and Dover on heavy pitches, So you've got a 40-year-old striker up top now. So I think he'd pick up a niggle, but hopefully be okay. But no, yeah, it's like I say, it's that rhythm, isn't it? Where beforehand we didn't have that. So no, it's looking good at the moment. I would say we're sitting fifth in the playoffs with a game in hand, a couple of games on Dartford, Billericay. So yeah, we'll see what comes
big month.
By the end of January. Yeah, it'll be a busy month and a big month, and then yeah, we'll see where we are at the end of it. And I think if we're there or thereabouts, if we're where we are now, come the end of January 31st, most self-entitled Horsham fans would take that. I think. So yeah, no, it's been a good festival. Yeah,
very good. Thank you for that, Robbo. Right, well, let's leave Tom for last. John, hello, sir. Right.
Hello. Yeah, it's been a while actually since we spoke because I never got onto your pre-Christmas one, did I? We had that prestigious Essex Senior Cup game, didn't we? So
you did.
Got in the way of all the festivities. But yeah, so I'm trying to think actually where we last picked off. I'm certain we were meant to have Potter's Bar at the start of December, but that got called off for whatever reason. So our first game that month was Hendon. And to be fair, it couldn't actually drop to a better time for us. Literally, I think the night or 2 nights before, their manager walked. He took trouble at Hemel Hempstead, took 3 of their best players with him. So we caught them at a good time, really. They seemed a bit disjointed. Still decent enough side, mine, but we went in there and we put in a good performance, I thought. We played really well, sort of kept organised at the back, took the opportunity well when it came. Bitterly cold afternoon. Yeah, it was an odd one, only a sort of little sprinkling of us there because of it being pre-Christmas. But yeah, no, I thought we played really well in that. And I thought, okay, that would build us up well going into Christmas. Obviously, we had the Senior Cup game and we played well in that as well. I mean, obviously Dagenham, being a side a bit further up the pyramid, didn't quite put the sort of full strength side out, but enough there to threaten us. But we played exceptionally well, I thought, and we sort of rotated our side a little bit too. Absolutely played them off the park, I thought. That was a bit of a wet and windy evening as well. Yeah, I just don't think they could hack it. 3 well taken goals. And yeah, I thought, okay, that G's us up. We're going to sort of Christmas period now and think, yeah, it's 3 tough games. We might be in the shout and it's all gone Pete Tong since. obviously the Horsham game, as Rob's picked up on, it was quite a tight game. I mean, me being biased, I thought we probably could have took a point out of it, obviously, for the lack of taking our chance at the end, really. It was, a decent save from the keeper. Can't take that away from him. But, we certainly weren't out of the game at any point. It was just a defensive lapse from us, really, that gave them their chance. Just simple, shouldn't have been picked up at the back post. And, their boy ain't going to miss from there. So it was the record against Horsham goes on. I don't know who with what ancient ghost we've disturbed down there of some kind. Every single time we've been there, but every time they come to us. But it's just the record goes on. We'll say have to get you back in April. But that took us on to Boxing Day, and we were kind of hoping for a good performance, being the local derby. Ricky, no love lost for them, and we just didn't turn up. I'll be honest, it was probably our worst performance of the season. And I mean, I dragged myself out that day because I've been suffering from some sort of flu virus thing over Christmas. You can probably hear I'm still a bit croaky. I literally dragged myself out that day for the best part of 2 hours, and I wish I hadn't, because I just played myself up and saw an absolutely abysmal performance. I mean, I'll give it to Ricky. They're good. I mean, it pains me to say it, but I think from what I've seen outside so far this season, they could be favourites for the title, especially with Dover having a bit of a dip. They just seemed so sharp on everything, and we just seemed so unprepared. We were getting exposed at the back, just really quick play down the wings. And again, another bleeding penalty early in the second half. Another save from the keeper. So just seems like we're a bit cursed in that respect as well at the minute. And after that, I think it just took any sting we had out of the game. We just seemed to give up after that, and it was just damage and limitation. Dartford, unfortunately, I couldn't be there because I was on my deathbed. But people, from what I've spoke to, people who went to the game, they just said it was quite similar to the Horsham one, really. We just sort of gave up a sloppy goal just before our time, and had a few chances second half. Everyone cleared off the line, but they just had a bit more in their locker to see it through, really. That's sort of led us on to where we are now. Is obviously being such a tight table, it's meant we've slid right down. So it's kind of changed the whole dynamic of where we were building our season up in the space of sort of a week and a half, 2 weeks. Obviously, we were meant to have Bowers on New Year's Day, but that got rained off. It was on at 12, off at 1. Just absolute deluge came out of nowhere. I mean, I was walking on the ground at the time. I got absolutely drenched. And I got there and see the referee shaking his head. I was like, oh, lovely. Wasted afternoon that. So, that brings us on to this month, really. And we got quite a busy month. Obviously, we got quite a few games where we need to be taking points offside, really, of we're not only going to push ourselves up the table, but also keep ourselves out that mire. Obviously, we got yourselves on Saturday, Chris. Got Potters Bar in the week, Cheshunt the following weekend. Then we got the Senior Cup quarter final away at Brighton Sea, and then 2 quite tough games around out the month, Folkestone and Cray Valley. So this sort of first, sort of 2 weeks really is going to be quite big for us. In terms of.
Go either way, couldn't it? I mean, if you win a few of those, you're out of the mire, aren't you? Really? Well, you're not in the mire yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's so tight, really. It obviously only takes a couple of wins for some sides and a couple of losses for others. You can just prepare yourself up and down the table. I mean, I think
you were saying about like Hendon. Like I think when Hendon beat us 9-0. Yeah, absolutely. And like I think they lost the next 7 or 8.
Yeah, if you look at the table now, there's like 11 points between 6th Chatham and 17th Hendon. So, like you're saying, a couple of wins and you're up there, and a couple of losses and people are down there. So it's massively wide open. That
it is. It's such an unpredictable league at the moment. I mean, I'd say really it seems to be only the sort of top 5 or 6 who have any sort of steam behind them. Really trying to pull away at the moment. But everyone else, it's just an absolute merry-go-round. So it's just seeing where we end up after these next few games, really, we've got to take points from somewhere. I mean, I'd be happy with 6 out of the 9, but obviously it's going to be putting in a good performance to do so. I mean, we've had a couple of, defensive lapses creep back in, so it's shutting up shop there, really. I mean, we seem to be quite good for a while. We were getting a lot better in defence, not leaking many goals at all, getting a few clean sheets, and then just seem to be giving up goals our own valediction, really. I mean, our manager, he put it best. He said, we don't concede goals, we give away goals, which is, the frustrating thing.
Hang on, mate. Hastings give away goals, mate. You haven't got that moniker, okay? Hopefully they don't do that Saturday.
Well. We haven't scored in 3 games either, so we need to start scoring them as well. That's going to be the challenge. I mean, one positive we have had in the last couple of games is we brought in Darren Foxley, who was hashtag. He was store for Billericay before, and he seems like quite a good acquisition, really. Quite sharp.
Where are you playing him?
Flanks. He's sort of been out on the flanks, really. Yeah, sort of playing left mid. And yeah, he seems like a good acquisition, really. It's just getting him involved in games in there and trying to see if he can set up chances for the strikers. That's what we've got to start doing again, really. Just, get those wins under our belt.
Thanks for that, John. Obviously, no win on Saturday. I have to apologise to you on that one, okay? But we're definitely catching up, yeah?
Oh, certainly, mate. Yeah. I'm postponing dry January until Monday, mate, because I've had a crap Christmas. So I need a bit of fun.
Yeah. Well, meeting up with us lot, you won't be dry. What time's the coach down quickly?
I think we leave ours at about 10:30, so hopefully have a good run down, get there just around midday time, hopefully, just after.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe after 12, something like that. Yeah.
Right, then. Tom, we move on to Hastings. I've missed a few because I've been working and things like that. So, and you go to every game, mate. So Tom is at every home and away game. Commentary has got better and better. You're doing a good job, but that's a side issue. I'm not sure our team's doing a good job at the moment, but Tom, fill us in on where do we start? We've obviously
got Danny's our new manager. Obviously,
he just come in last episode. So
yeah. And,
since then,
obviously, sort of started off with the win against Chichester, getting 3-2 result, which Billy was commentating with me on the day. Billy Wood, I've got to say,
did he let you get a word in?
Well, he did. He had his sort of fair share of things to say as well. But you could sort of definitely tell, like, just what we saw in that game, and then what I saw in the game against Billericay the week after. It was already like much sort of like an improvement early on. You could see in the first 2 games, passing was much more sharper. You could see like the shape, positioning of everyone, and it kind of reminded me of like just under Agu really when.
I was at Chichester, by the way. Sorry, this is my brain has gone. That was our big away day. That was the 9 o'clock with
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, with a turkey on my head. Yeah, that one. Yes. Sorry. Go on. Yeah. Anyway, I'm ruining it for you, Tom. Go on, carry on, mate.
I was honestly sort of more than amazed how we came away with that sort of win after the Chichester game, just to hold on to it, and and then to top it off, getting a point away against Billericay. I don't think any of us were really.
No one thought we'd get that,
to be honest, but it could have really gone either way. At the end of it, George had the best chance to win it. He took it past the keeper, but I think just in those last few stages, he just got so tired. He just had no energy in him anymore, sort of, to run it.
Well, it was the chance, wasn't it? I mean, it's that's why we've got players that we've got. They'd be at higher clubs if they've got those goals in them. Do you know what I mean? It's we've got to take risks on players like that. But yeah, go on. Sorry, Tom.
And also Bowers as well, which I remember speaking to you about that half time, and disappointing to ship in just 4 goals from 4 shots, and
that was shocking.
The guy who was doing actually the commentary next to me in the radio booth, he said it was their first night just under 860 odd minutes or something like that.
Yeah, first goal in 860 minutes, and they managed to get 4 against Hastings, and it was comedy defending, and we've seen that all season.
Were you at the Dover game?
No, that's the Boxing Day.
Yeah.
No, I was otherwise disposed.
I mean, well, I thought it was an improvement. It was definitely an improvement from the Bowers game, has to be said. But it's just 2 well taken goals. That was really it. Didn't have really sort of, have that extra person to get the ball forward to, or just sort of in the midfield. There was no one really to sort of like take charge or intercept or anything like that. So,
it's that problem, isn't it? One little bit doesn't work, then the other bit doesn't work, then the other bit. Say, for instance, we've got wingers that are they can flatter to deceive, but they haven't really got the finished product to get it in the box, which means the forward who got 30 odd goals in the season is now coming back a bit, trying to make things happen for himself because he's not getting that service. So he's then not there, and then that impacts. Guys. It impacts on the side.
Has your new manager brought many players in, or is he?
No, it's not brought in.
Just the ones that are already there before and done the brought.
Yeah, we've got I mean, we haven't really got a plan B. We've got like Will Harley, who's someone who was in our youth team that went to Eastbourne Borough. I don't think he's ever played. He was he's still a young lad.
I mean,
Sort of big old unit. Sorry, go on. What are you saying, Tom?
So they kind of want to use players kind of, I think, from the academy and try to get them into the first team, trying to do it that way.
Difficult.
That's tough, isn't it? I remember we every like Q&A with like Dom, our manager, like there's always these old guys that always say, what about the youth? What about the youth? And Dom will be the first one to tell you, like, to bring the youth up, like through the academy or however you do it, under 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s, and then the Isthmian League. Like it's a completely different level. Like you're chucking them in. It's better for them to go and play county and then make their way across. Like you don't see many youth players coming through. You really don't, because of that. It's just the physicality of it. Like in the ideal world, that's what we all want. I'm sure as all the fans, we all want someone you can relate to, that lives in your town, that's gone through the academy. But that's getting less and less, I think, in our level of football. I don't know what you guys think, but it just doesn't seem to be that way anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, so senior football can be a completely different bag, really, to what you are playing at youth level. So much more physicality and sharpness to it, especially at our level now. You've only seen the standards go up, so sort of blooding a player in at the deep end, they've got to have either absolute bags of talent or, as you say, need to get that bit of experience.
There's a lot of money about, isn't there? Like, there's a lot of money now. You look at Billericay, Folkestone, whoever you want. There's a lot of people now that will chuck money at strikers. Lewis. There's and that sort of
Horsham.
Well, we haven't got a sugar daddy, though, have we? That's the problem. People think we're owned by one person, and we're not. So all our money comes through success or running of the club.
He likes saying that. Did you hear that? It comes through success. He like that. That's good.
Got to get that in there, and what I'm saying is, when I think it's like cup runs and things, and then
of course,
also the people forget we were homeless for 11 years. So we've had our turmoil and things, and now we're just the golden leaves, as it were. We've got a 3G pitch, and we can hire that out, every day of the week. The bar can be used, so that sort of income will then fund our players. And like I say, the runs in the cups will fund it as well. But, a lot of these teams do have a lot of people chucking on money, Billericay, you're tampling at one stage. I know that went Pete Tong very quickly, but...
I mean, even without him there, I think there is a consortium of businessmen there who certainly aren't shy of a few bob.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Chatham being another one in this league as well, they've got a big money man rolling them. So it's certainly there, and only seems to be going up and up every year in some respects.
You see so many times now, especially the last couple of years, you've been seeing Freddie Sears playing, like ex-Premier League players at this level. That was unheard of a couple of years ago. So I think it's there, but it's always nice. The youngsters, when they do come through, it's always good to support them, and hopefully one or two do break through. It doesn't matter where they are. It's just hopefully they do it. But it's getting harder and harder. I can't, as a Horsham fan, I can't tell the last sort of youngster we had through. It's just and it's also having the manager to trust them. That's another thing. Like you could have a good player, and then the fans think he's a good player, but if the manager doesn't trust him, you got no hope. So
yeah.
It's
also blooding them through properly. You don't just throw them in at the deep end. You give them time, because obviously their confidence is going to be. I mean, some people have just got masses of confidence. You can put them in straight away, but mostly you need to give them slowly sort of few sub appearances and things like that. But when you're losing games, you're not going to really rely on bringing those players on. So but it is what it is. I mean, the thing is that obviously we got to pay for the ground. There's a ground stuff that's got to be done. So. We've got to take our medicine a little bit, where we had a few more quid, and we were able to get that kind of level of players in. We can't do that now. So it's about taking medicine and just trying to make sure we stay up and having the right players for a battle. Unfortunately, I mean, only, the lad that was at yours, John, is it Boassi?
Kouassi. I was going to say you got a bit of the Kouassi treatment from what I see. He's been gloating about it on his social.
Yeah.
He feels like a big man again.
And I'm from my point of view, obviously I'm not looking at the goal. I'm looking at what we're supposed to be doing. And it's just like, blimey, like the one thing I'll say is, you don't need, you pay for quality, but effort, effort, and I didn't see it. And so you're giving, that's why we're about -24 goal difference, and we're like, I think the second worst scorers in the league. We're there for a reason. And it's just, it's about the little 5%ers that we can change, no matter what players we got there. And that's what needs to change. Because otherwise we're down. And I think that Danny's going to sort that out. I do think, and I think we will need to get a one or two in. We ain't got the money to get any more than that. So I don't mind a relegation battle. It's just and it is a relegation battle. I don't care what anyone says. We're down there because we're not very good, and that needs to change against Canvey, John. Just so you know. But yeah, no, sorry, Tom, I butted in. Go on, mate. You were saying, go on.
And then obviously messaging you before sort of getting onto this about the Folkestone game as well.
Literally switched it on and they scored immediately, so we couldn't get the game called up. Were you calling for the game to be called off after 30 seconds?
Well, do you know what? I went into the boardroom actually after the game, and the referee, we were actually having a conversation about it, and he said when he got to the ground anyway, he said there wasn't really any necessary reason why it should have been called off before. He said it was only just after 3 o'clock when the weather actually kicked in that he didn't really want to make the call just then because it wasn't terrible.
It would have affected his accumulator?
Well, potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think for both sides, I think just trying to clear the ball away at times, like you could just sort of see it like standing there just dead in the water. Wasn't great to see, but it was just the goals we conceded. I mean, just basic ones really, from where I could see it. And then obviously with Freddie's at the end.
Oh yeah.
See?
Yeah. I was so say anyway. The commentary. You remember the classic Chris Kamara, Jeff? I don't know what's going on. Has there been a goal or not? And he's, I don't know. Remember the sending off? That was it.
The red card of Paul.
Yeah. This was literally on that level because he's like, well, like we actually scored a goal, which was a miracle in itself. And he's like, is it in?
It was. I couldn't see anyone in ground
celebrating. And he's like, what?
And I just couldn't understand it. I thought if you scored a goal, even if it's a consolation, something you want to be happy about. But then also Leo was taking the ball. I thought, well, we must have scored, but I didn't see even hadn't gone in.
You were asking everyone around you, weren't you? Like the Folkestone fans, is it what's going on? Anyway, it was a bit of a Kamara moment. I did like it. It was one piece of cheer in and obviously Rob from Folkestone was there. He did message me a few times.
Obviously looking forward to tomorrow as well, and let's hope we can put a few past Canvey. Be nice.
Yeah, we need a lift. I mean, it's as you can tell, it's not great, and it's not great. It's not great.
That was a big win though against Bognor when on box. Was it Boxing Day you played them?
Yeah.
That was a big.
I mean, it was such a scrappy game, to be honest. I mean, you felt like, because personally feel like Bognor pretty much done now anyway.
Yeah. It seems that way, doesn't it?
They seem to be, I was saying to someone when we were playing on Boxing Day, they seem to be very similar to Margate, when they got rid of the manager and had that dual, double management team and they set themselves up to come back up or whatever it might be. And they're obviously trying to get a 3G pitch, aren't they? I think I read today. So
there is that rambling in the background about that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Whether that's possibly eating into their finances as well. I mean, I know a lot of the players have been relying on are sort of quite young players, either on loan from Portsmouth or actually have come up through their academy. When we played him, they had a 16-year-old at centre back. So
that Pattendine, and he must have been injured because I think I saw him in the stands when we played them the other day. And he's a big miss because he was outstanding, I thought, last season, coming off the wing and scoring goals. He scored a lot of their goals last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, they I agree. I think them and Bowers are probably gone. So you're looking at two from
Whitehawk,
9 to be honest.
Yeah. I think we're still
at it. Go on.
Bowers, I think.
Pardon?
I think it's still Cheshunt and Bowers we got to play from the bottom two and the other side. So
didn't we lose to Cheshunt?
Yeah, we lost the home game.
Oh yeah. That was that. When we were winning and we got the goalie sent off, and then that was it. Oh, it's coming back now. Yeah. It's squeaky bum time. I wish old Mark was on so we could give him some grief, but he's obviously doing a few more reps. But yeah, you look at those sides. Cheshunt, I think, will be one of the sides in there, and then it's between. I think Whitehawk are going to push on. I think old Sean's come back there and he's getting points, whether you like it, how he does it or not. I think Whitehawk will get away from it. It's just if we can kick on.
I'll tell you one surprise, a drop in, Dulwich.
Well, that would be an utter shame if Dulwich went down. I have to say the price.
I was going to talk about sort
the price of flat whites would go down.
Disappointment of the season. But yeah, Dulwich certainly I think would be a disappointment in a lot of people's books from what they might have been G'd up to be at the start of the season. They've certainly fell by the wayside.
Yeah, they're dropping at the moment, aren't
they? And for the amount they've got a decent budget, and the problem is for me none of their fans are watching the game anyway, so they probably don't know that they're heading down,
But
down
this is
the
it.
other
I
half.
had this we had this chat the other day when someone was saying Dulwich and we're dropping. I was like, yeah, but I think they're probably looking at the gates more than the results. You know, if they're still getting 2,500 through the gate, I don't think they care if they're mid-table. I think they'll take that. To be honest with you, like it's the most bizarre atmosphere I think I've ever been involved in. Like watching football, it's mental. One of the fans came up and was more interested to see if we brought the flag than actually the game because they remember it from the year before. And it's just like, and they brought a friend along to see it. So I was like, well,
okay.
yeah. So, I think as long as they're getting the crowds through the doors, I don't think
They don't care.
Yeah, personally.
It's a funny one. Yeah, but yeah, so I mean, obviously yourselves, Canvey, but I mean, your funny side, you know,
I mean, to be honest, I
go on.
didn't expect us to pull up trees. I mean, we got a very young side, as sort of said before. We haven't really got much in terms of a budget. I don't think our leadership at the top have got much in terms of a plan. It's just sort of the side trying to grind out wins and sort of keep that camaraderie there. I mean, we brought in 2 signings recently. Obviously, Darren Foxley being one of them, and I'm trying to remember who the other one was. I can't remember. We essentially have paid for them, or the management have essentially paid for them out of a sweepstake thing they have going on with a lot of ex-players and committee members, things like that. And the board essentially asked him, "Oh, where you got the money from?" And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it," because he don't want them interfering. So yeah, it's. I mean, for us, you know, we prop up mid-table. I'm quite happy with that this season, to be honest. But it's again just such a merry-go-round. You just don't know where you're going to end up at the moment.
I'll be happy with that. But then equally, I'll be very happy if both of us get out of it, and in Hendon, who beat us 9-0, they're only 3 points above us. It's just our superior goal difference of -24 is going to keep us below them. But so it's just a mad season, and then as you say, the top half is more. You know, it's kind of shaping up a bit, isn't it? You know, you expected yours.
Yeah, you look at those sides currently sort of in and around the playoffs. I think they are the ones who are going to sort of pull up trees at the end of the season. I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, I think out of the sides we've played so far, I'd say my favourites for the title probably Billericay. You know, Dover seem to be hitting that little stumbling block that a few sides can get around this sort of point in the season. I mean, we had it a little bit when we were in the Isthmian North. We were winning games like it was going out of fashion, and then we just cut against a few well-organised sides and couldn't buy a win for the best part of the month, and it cost us a title. So, you know, whether they've got enough in their arsenal to pull them through that, it's going to be when they come up against these sides around them. They could be the key games. Obviously, they lost one to Billericay, didn't they? Between Christmas and New Year's, and that was a bit of a damaging one for them. But from what I saw of Billericay on Boxing Day, you know, they got a lot of talent in their side. You can see that for the money they got, they've obviously spent it well. And I think when they have a fully fit side, they could be a big threat to anyone on their day.
Yeah, it should be a good run-in.
I mean, in terms of surprise this season, I mean, I've talked them up a little bit at the beginning of the season because I thought they might take momentum with them. Cray Valley seemed to have stayed up there, which is a bit of a big surprise for a newly promoted team. And one that, seemed to be involved in a few exciting games. I mean, when they played us, it was 4-4. They played Cheshunt a few weeks back, that was 4-4. They seem to love scoring goals, but love conceding them as well. So how gung-ho they can keep going on like that and hope to stay in the playoffs is another thing.
They sort of like, I know Wingate were up there last year and this year, but they're sort of falling off a bit now. Cray, obviously, going back, they'll probably got a bit of the FA Cup money that they've distributed quite well, I think. Very decent setup. But I agree with you. I think Billericay are the team. We played them just before Christmas, and first 45 minutes, if we had a striker, we would have been 4 or 5 up. It was the best I've seen Horsham play in about 2.5 years. We were outstanding. They didn't know what to do. Second half, they came out and they're a completely different unit. They knew what they're doing. They win those key battles and they get the key moments. And I think having seen them and Dover, and we're going to see Billericay at our place in a week's time, I agree. I think Billericay will be the team that will push on. Bit of breaking news. I've just seen that Ade Youssef has gone back to Folkestone.
Okay. That will help my each way. My each way for Folkestone going up. I'm always straight. That's a surprise to me. Bloody Folkestone! I really thought they'd do better this season. But
I agreed. They were one of my outsiders at the beginning of the season. I always believe that it's like Carshalton. I always think they're going to do well, and then they don't. It's just like They should
They
have.
always seem to fall off at the wrong time, don't they?
Yeah, it's but I think it's going to be a really, really interesting run-in. I think, like we were saying, like us beating Dover, I think has opened it up a bit, and I think that'd be good. So yeah, I think Chatham, there'll be I think top 6 or 7. I think it's just going to be ins and outs, but I think there could be a really interesting run-in. Really, yeah, right to the right.
And stressful for some of us.
Yeah.
In terms of that one for the title, I mean, I'd say Dartford have come on song now. I mean, they seem to be grinding out wins really, but they are getting the results. And, I think it's about 11 or 12 unbeaten now. So you can't really argue with that kind of a run-in, to be honest. Yeah. If they keep those sort of results up, then they will keep pressure on top.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, totally agree.
Well, thank you, chaps. You do know, John, it's going to be epoxy 0-0 in it tomorrow.
I think it'll be an absolutely thrilling 0-0, but a 0-0.
I might even take that. I mean, I think we need a win, but might take that.
If it just gets postponed, and then
if I want to choose late,
I was going to say, what's it like down there on a Hastings Del Sol at the moment? Is it positively balmy?
No, it's been a bit cold. But I think is there a tiny bit of drizzle now? But it's all right. It was all right. That'd be good. It'd be good to catch up, and going to be a good game. Right, Tom, the master of the radio. You're going to be doing the game live, aren't you?
With Windy, yes.
Yes, you're going to be there. You've got John Gale on with you, yeah?
Yeah, Windy Girl's coming back with me, indeed.
Yeah. You've had a few people on. I saw you had Lisa Kemp, didn't you, as well? Didn't you at one point?
Yeah, it was good. Although I think there was a certain choice of words by someone particular who came in at half time at the box, and might know who that is.
No,
go on. Tell me.
Apparently, Matt sort of went up and I don't know what was said, but the viewers listening in had something to say about it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to ask around then. Was it of a filthy nature?
I don't know. I mean, not on that note, from what I've been told.
Or he was just telling her to.
I think it was just about the performance, and either in the half or the way we've been playing, or something. Because obviously I didn't listen back to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, fine intellectuals. Well, thank you, Tom. Thank you. I'm sure it's going to be great. I will be at the game. Rob, good luck tomorrow.
Gritted teeth.
No, honestly, good luck, mate. And guys, look, John from Canvey, Rob from that self-entitled Horsham, Tom on the radio for Hastings. We'll see you all at the game. Take care and good luck on Saturday.
Good one, guys. See you later.
Okay, guys. Yeah, take care. That's it for this episode, SBTS fans. If you want to get in contact with this podcast, please email us on sbtspod@gmail.com. The Twitter, which is sbtspod. Otherwise, go to the YouTube. Over 4 years of content on there. There's so many other ways to listen. However you get your podcast, we're on all platforms. Or go to the link tree, which is SBTS Podcast, and subscribe. It's all free. Remember, get yourselves to a game and support local football, whoever and wherever you're watching. And apart from that, see you at the game.